Alright, hey everyone, my name is Tanner, as you all remember from last week's speech. This week we are going to be talking about the great land of Germany. Now Germany, yes it has a bad reputation, but overall it has a great quantity once it truly got past the World War I and World War II eras. It was very communistic and fascist at first, but after that it became very open to the world and is now one of the highest grossing per capitas and tourist attractions in the world. Why is that? Because we have the Holocaust, we have the Berlin Wall, we have the Hitler regime and just everything else, but the number one thing that they have is Oktoberfest. If you don't know what Oktoberfest is, well, for all you beer drinkers out there, it's a good place to go. So about every September or so to October, it's like late September to early October, there's a period of 16 to 18 days where everyone in Germany and around the world goes and just drinks a buttload of beer. Now that right there is a problem in itself because you can get really drunk, you can get arrested and all that. The rules still apply as if you were in the US. But it's open wide and everyone does it, everyone drinks, and the laws are not as strict as what it is here. But enough about Oktoberfest. We get to the main point of World War I. It all started with the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. He was a very high official in, I forget the name of the country, but he was assassinated, which then led to the rise of the fascist regime of Germany. That regime then created a whole bunch of differences, and later on the US got completely involved. We destroyed them, of course, but then led to the rise of Hitler. Hitler was a very terrible man who decided to kill off 6 million Jews, which is almost an entire population of people, just because they were rich while his people were poor. So as the acting dictator of the time, he, took away their money, took away their possessions, killed them, and said that they were going to work when yet he was killing them in gas chambers. It was one of the most dramatic days and events in human history. But that event has led us to where we are now, where we have the Berlin Wall, which was torn down by Reagan's speech in 1989. That wall separated East and West Germany. One was communistic and fascist still, while the other one was free and liberated. I believe it was the East that was the communistic and fascist, while the West was liberated and free and under diplomacy, because we as in the United States and the Allies had opened that up and, created a kind of border with everything where we set them up for success instead of failure on the other side. But once there was enough fighting and family members cut off from each other, Ronald Reagan, who at the time was in his last year, I believe, his presidency during that decade, to where he said, "Let's tear down this wall." The biggest speech and uproar that sparked mass insanity throughout the entire Berlin, Germany era. It was cut straight down Germany, and everyone who was separated got to see each other unless, they were elder and had died during those years. Lastly, we're talking about the wonderful world that it has become. There are multiple sites in Berlin, Bavaria, Munich, and that's really it. That's where the main source of everything had gone. And if there are any questions, now would be a perfect time. Thank you.